Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you a very interesting tutorial. Now, this year I grew turnips, and boy did my turnips grow. They are really unbelievable specimens this year, and they are all like this. I've already picked a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to show you how to paraffin wax these guys. Now, we can't possibly eat all these turnips in like this week, right? So they're going to last us throughout the fall and maybe even into the winter, depending on how well we paraffin wax these guys. So paraffin wax is a wax, okay? And it's used for all kinds of things. It's used for candle making. It's used for topping jams and jellies that are cooked so you can can them properly and keep bacteria out. Now, we have an old box of this, and it's still the same. It's still okay. It comes in bricks like this, and it's scored so that you can break it. This one is called Para Wax. Some of them are called Para Wax, but they're paraffin wax, okay? And make sure that you get the edible kind. Now, when you eat these turnips, eventually, you're not going to eat that wax. You're going to peel these guys and make sure that all that wax is off. But in the meantime, what happens is, it helps you from losing moisture in your vegetables, your produce, okay? So what we're gonna do, what we've done, I have a double boiler. I have some canning going on today, so I'm on this other stove. And I have on a double boiler with an old pot that you don't care if you really wreck. Double boiler, I have water underneath, and I'm just melting that Parawax on the lowest heat. First things first, I've washed these guys off. They had lots of dirt on. They come from the ground. They're root vegetables. So make sure you clean them as well as you possibly can. And the next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut these roots off. These roots here, cut them off, and you're going to cut the stem off here as closely as you possibly can. Don't get rid of these leaves, however, because these leaves can be used for a fantastic side dish of turnip greens, okay? So, no problem. The whole thing is going to be used except these little stalks. And in fact, those stalks can be saved in a resealable plastic bag in your freezer for when you make soups and stews in the future. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rinse these eyes off again, and I'm going to cut off the parts that I need to. All right, cut the stem off as closely as possible to your turnip without damaging your turnip. Lovely. Now slice off any excess that you need to. If you want to use a little paring knife to make sure that you don't accidentally puncture your turnip the way you shouldn't, then go ahead and do that. And use a paring knife for the roots. Good stuff. So we've gone pretty flush from the top here, and as flush as we possibly can on the bottom as well. Now don't throw out these greens. Make sure you check out my recipe for how to cook turnip greens because they're a really tasty side dish. Now you might have noticed that there was some bits that you couldn't actually get enough dirt out of. So now that the stem's gone and those little roots are gone, it's much easier to get in there. I just use a little potato scrubber under cold water. Make sure they're good and clean. Okay, so now they are spick and span. You can see they're really clean, even the bottoms. Everything is nice, okay? Now, I like to take a large, clean bath towel that I only use for the kitchen. I have a bunch of them that I use just for the kitchen. And I want to make sure that these guys are really, really dry. You want them to dry off this way, and then you're going to let them air dry until they are no longer moist on the outside. Now, I've got that wax just ready. It's just in a holding pattern. And these will take, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes to all the way dry off. So just make sure that you've done your best to dry them off as well as you possibly can. And then I'm going to show you how we get it done. Now I'm actually going to set these guys on like a cooling rack. That way there's air circulation all over. My turnips are nice and dry, and my wax is melted. We're ready to go. So I'm just going to use a silicone baking mat on a cookie sheet because the wax will remove easily from this silicone mat. I'm also going to use a cooling rack that's a little bit higher than that one there. And this is how we're going to do it, okay? So these guys are nice and dry. I have a silicone basting brush. This is going to be really easy to get the wax back off of, and they're easy to clean, okay? Plus, it's just going to work better. So you could either dip these guys into Parawax, but for the amount of wax that you need, you don't want to do that. Like, you have to use a massive amount and try and it'd be such a pain. So we're going to brush it on today, and I believe we're going to get the same effect. So I melted a couple bricks of the paraffin wax, and here we go. I'm just going to dip my silicone brush into here, and we're going to make sure that it's basted and completely coated all around. Every nook and cranny you want completely filled so that no moisture can get out. Everything is really, really sealed. You can see that that paraffin is starting to seal up or solidify up relatively quickly as well. That way you can see what you've waxed and what you need to fix. Take your time. Make sure you get every nook and cranny. It's worth going over it 1 or 2 more times to ensure that it's completely sealed. This is going to keep your turnip much longer through this season for when you're ready to eat it. Just think of it like an art project. Also, the wax that drips onto the silicone mat, you can reuse again. Now manipulate it however you need to get it waxed. Make sure you don't burn yourself with this stuff. It's super hot. Now work quickly. This is going to cool off on you, and you might need to put it over the double boiler again just to melt it again. It actually starts to coat better once it starts to get a little bit thicker. I'm going to add 1 more brick of paraffin. Okay, my wax is ready again. I'm just going to continue what I was doing before on the other sides. Okay, this one's done. Now it may take you a little bit more wax to do these instead of just dipping them all the way in, but you only have to buy a minimum amount of wax. So it just takes your time. Just take your time, make sure it's completely covered, and that's how you do it. So this is going to go just dry on a cooling rack here with the other one I'm going to do. And then it's going to go into my fruit cellar for whenever we're ready. Now when that's ready to come off, it's going to easily just peel off with a vegetable peeler, no big deal. Okay, that's it. That's how you paraffin wax turnip. That's how you do it. Okay, so here's the difference. This one would be limp in like less than a week probably on the counter or wherever it's going to be stored, and this one is going to keep quite a bit longer. Make sure you keep them cool. Okay, so that's how you can preserve them for a little bit longer until you're ready to eat them. There's only so much turnip you can eat in a week and we have a bunch of them. So anyway, I hope you enjoy your garden, and that's how you paraffin wax a turnip. Okay, try other vegetables too that you might need to have done like that too. Okay, follow me on Twitter at CookingWithKim, with a capital E. Like the fan page at Facebook.com/CookingWithKimberly. My shows are on iFood.tv/CookingWithKimberly and YouTube.com/CookingWithKimberly. And my site is CookingWithKimberly.com. Make sure you check me out on Roku as well. Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.